Hello everyone, coming to you today again on another walk run, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the compassion that is going to be pervasive throughout New Jerusalem, and how as a people, descendants of American slaves are going to have to really embrace compassion for one another. Due to the current world that we are in, compassion is at its lowest ebb because of people who know not of compassion. They are a very violent people that we have been under the rule of, and indeed this whole planet under this world is a world full of violence and hatred. And so compassion is very few and far in between. But in New Jerusalem, the restoration of compassion for our fellow man will be restored. You know, this SNAP and EBT and all the different legislations that are out there for that this administration is putting out is bringing to light some of the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I would say underlying bitterness that we in the descendants of American slaves community and family that we have between each other. And you know, there is a truth that I am witnessing in real time regarding this among each other: the lack of compassion and empathy with many of our men, our black men. And there's our men, the warriors that they are, along with the women who are also warriors, we both got defeated equally. And actually, I would think they got defeated more because of the historical, deadly and violent takeover of our ancient mother's sacerdotal seat, when, of course, God was referred to as a woman, a mother goddess, the Most High God. Now, there are several books out there, not only written by black and white women, but also black men regarding this woman. So there's evidence that there was such a great hatred for the emblematic, powerful image of God thousands of years ago, that at some point our men became very, very jealous, violently and deadly so, and began to unfortunately execute us in these temples. And although the Bible speaks of a mere female pressing around an able-bodied man, men have time and time again attempted to twist that to a more abstract meaning of the church or some type of non-gender or gender-neutral stance. And I must say that the air of that, the width of that is still present with us even now, irregardless of the fact that we are both suffering. And we are both defeated by these people who practice wickedness and who who were held up by demons, by Satan, and by the black nobility. And yet, even in this final hour, in the most vulnerable position that you can put any person in, I am just saddened to see our brothers, and not all of them, but enough to where it seems to be the consensus to kind of, I don't know, blame or celebrate the demise of these women, and children. Subsequently, children are the babies are gonna feel it more. And for some reason, they are unwilling to wag the finger at themselves because, these men did not make the baby. These women did not make the babies on their own. There were men involved in this as well and are equally culpable to what is taking place here to black women. And of course, we know that the majority of the women that are going to be affected are white women, but you don't see white men out here condemning white women. I just don't see videos of that popping up where white women are having their fingers wagged by white men. And we all have a track record of what she has done to us as well. There is a book out there called "And They Were Her Slaves," and then there's also prominent scholars like Joy DeGruy, who has given multiple lectures on many of the laws that were passed in antebellum slavery and during slavery period to excuse the torture, abuse, and killing that white women did to the slave and to, in particular, slave children, just as much, or if not more, than white men did. And I'm pointing this out because it needs to be told that of the dichotomy that is taking place. You see, no one has ever chastised them at all. Very few, and if there are, it's usually, well, it seems to be it's usually black women that have actually chastised them. And I believe Minister Louis Farrakhan did some chastising too. But in the kingdom, compassion from both sides is going to be the real underbelly of New Jerusalem. And that's not letting people get away from things. It's just that we are pumped and primed to beat ourselves over the head with, criminalizing our behavior, what we say, what we think, how we look, and even for the anointed, which, with all the training that we have had, and with all the come to Jesus moments that we were forced to look at in our character and whatnot, even we are going to have to confront our white bias. I mean, I have seen even the most holy person wag their finger at black women and black men while giving reasons and empathy to white men and white women regarding, oh my goodness, the same offense, excusing it basically. And if you were to tell them that this is what you observe, they get mad at you. they really get mad at you. I mean, they really become obstinate, like, how dare you, you know. And not even take into account that you're probably, not you're probably, but you are accusing the victim for the crimes of the perpetrator and excusing the perpetrator like they're the victim. And honestly, as a whole, Black men, we can't come to you and rely on you right now. You are just as defeated as we are. That would be like the blind leading the blind. And so although the creator of the universe has spread anointing over many of you, and you have given truths, you do not have power to execute any type of freedom. Otherwise, you would have done so a long, long time ago. And even the best of you tried, and that includes us too, and lost. Because the creator of the universe has a time and a plan. And it may not be what you think it is. It may not show itself in the manner that you think it should show itself. And this is why we need a force greater than ourselves to intervene on our behalf. There is literally nothing that we can do for each other at this appointed time until we are free and empowered by a power greater than the both of us. God knows we've tried and failed, which is why we're still in the condition that we're in, and which is why there's still such a thing as EBT and SNAP, because we have failed. You understand? We have lost the war. We have lost the battles. The first step to recovery is to admit you have a problem. And somehow when you admit you have a problem, then that begins to not only humble us, but it is the first stone and perhaps maybe the cornerstone to compassion. Because if you admit that you have a problem and detail what that problem is, then it is less likely that you're going to wag and point your finger at someone else, thinking that you could do better than what they could do. Yes, we all have our strengths and we do have our weaknesses, but compassion is what's needed here. So I believe that when the angels are here, part of their mission, of course, is to make sure that New Jerusalem is protected, and to be a greater part of that resectioning, which is going to be cataclysmic, and really just to separate us from our captors and our tormentors on every level, which is going to make a lot of people angry. And I wonder if this is going, because there is a saying that there are going to be many tender relationships that are going to be broke apart. That lover, that wife, that husband, and even some of your children are going to have to choose which parent they're going to want to go with. Are they going to want to go with the white parent, or are they going to want to go with the black parent? It's going to be that diabolical. But I don't even know if diabolical. It's just going to be that clear cut. So although we'll be free, and although we'll know that we're in the new kingdom, there's going to be at the very beginning some unpleasantness and some uncomfortableness. And I think that's going to be felt on all levels. One, because it's going to be a new paradigm, and two, because the rules of law are going to be so exacting. And but there will be help there. There will be compassion. There's going to be kindness there, probably from the most unlikely people, to help us through that and to help us make those adjustments. There's a lot that we gotta shed from this world, and then there's a new thing that we're going to have to uptake, and it is leading us on to perfection. And that's another thing too. So many of us want to go to a place that we have never seen before, and and are ready to jettison this planet and this universe. We don't know how far reaching the war in heaven was. And what I mean by that is that we don't know how many star systems Satan actually destroyed or had a hand in disrupting the flow of. So I believe that our assignment is going to be far greater than anything that we could have in heaven, right? There's just some truths that we're just going to have to come to terms with. And one of them is that a lot of us ain't going to heaven. Some of us are going to be just right here on Earth, and our mission is not only for Earth, but for other solar systems and quite possibly other galaxies. Remember, Satan was condemned here, right? And that there was a great war in heaven. And so we can surmise that it was probably very expansive, being that these are super beings. These are beings from another dimension that can hide in plain sight for, I don't know if this is the right word, parochial beings that live in this universe and have a right to live in this universe. So we got a lot to come to terms with. And, not everybody is going to be very happy. I think there's going to be a substantial bandwidth for compassion for women, Black women in particularly, which we have not been afforded on all sides. And I think that's going to make a lot of folks upset. A lot of folks upset. But irregardless, we don't get to tell God what to do. And we don't get to choose and force God to present the Most High to present themselves. And I'm just talking about one major supreme being of how they wish to present themselves to the beings on this planet, human, and on other planets. Thank you.